All right, so welcome back to the market report for April 2024. We're going to be going through the data on average sale price, the number of days on market, number of new listings coming on the market, pending sales, closed sales. We're going to dive into all of that and try to give you a picture of where the market is going from here as we roll into summer. So let's dive right in. The average sale price in April jumped to $401,664, which is actually quite a nice increase since we were dropping toward the end of 2023. Into 2024, we started increasing, and it's been pretty steady so far. So last month, we kind of saw this slight decline when we would typically see things start increasing into the spring, and we were talking about some concerns that the market might be stalling because of rates or other factors. It looks like we might be getting through those concerns as home prices spiked here in April. Let's look at some more data though to see if that data supports that hypothesis. Looking at the last 3 years for average sale price, we were at $388,000 a year ago, $407,000 2 years ago, and $331,000 3 years ago. So your 3-year increases are huge, but your year-over-year increases are only 3.4%. That's not actually fantastic if you look at investments and your typical returns on investments. However, it's not bad, and we are seeing an increase right now. One thing to look at on this chart, April is typically a strong month. 2 years ago, after April, we declined pretty much throughout the rest of the year. Last year, it spiked in April, we dropped back down in May, and then we saw another spike in June as we rolled into summer. So honestly, these are probably the two scenarios that I think we're looking at this year as well. We're probably either going to see things start, continue to increase or continue to do well into summer and then drop off toward the end of the year, as it typically does. Real estate is very seasonal. Or we're going to see this be the peak month and things continue to drop. And what decides which of these paths is more likely? I think the Fed is a major factor in that. So the Fed has been talking about holding rates, at least. Not a lot of talk of dropping rates, but at least holding them and stopping the increase on rates. Now, if the Fed does hold rates steady or they decide to start dropping rates, I think we see this scenario. I think we see real estate continue to rise into the summer. We probably have a strong summer as we head into the election, and then we'll see those typical drop-offs into the winter months. So price per square foot in April spiked to $237 per square foot in April. The previous all-time high was in June of last year at $230 per square foot. So this is a huge increase and a new all-time high in price per square foot. Now, again, is that a sign that the market is super strong and buyers are ready to go and they have a lot of money? I don't know. I don't feel like that's what I'm feeling in the market. And it's not what I'm hearing from the buyers that I'm working with. But that said, this may be an anomaly, right? There may be a few homes that sold at a very, very high price per square foot. Maybe they were small square footage homes. People are buying smaller homes maybe to be more affordable. And smaller homes tend to have a higher price per square foot than larger homes. So again, we saw the increase in average sale price, but I don't think that accounts for this huge price per square foot increase. So I'll be interested to see next month if it stays level or if we start to see a pullback there, because that seems like a big jump. The number of new listings on the market in April, 353. Now this is a great sign. All throughout 2023, or at least the second half of 2023, new listings were low or declining. As we rolled into 2024, we've seen new listings start to rebound. And, this time a lot of this was because rates just spiked, right? Nobody wants to sell their house at 4% interest to go buy a new house at 8% interest. That's a tough sell. And when you look at the quotes next to each other, it's like, oh my gosh. So, I can understand this, and it seems like people are starting to kind of accept their fate and accept that the rates are what they are, and they're probably not going to go back down to 2%, 3% anytime soon. And we're starting to see people jump back in the market. Looking at the last 3 years, again, 353 this year, 279 new listings last year, 410 2 years ago, and 423 3 years ago. So last year was a very tough year. And again, if you looked at rates, you would see the chart that kind of corresponds to this, right? You've got lower rates, lower rates, lower rates, and you're going to start to see rates increase here. And the more rates increase, the more activity decreased. So homes for sale in April, 524 in Tulare County as a whole. Considering 353 of those were new listings, that leaves maybe half of that as existing inventory from the previous month, so about 1.5 months of inventory on average right now. That's actually fantastic. For the sellers especially, that means if you're listing your property, you're very likely to sell it quickly and for a good amount of money, as long as you're pricing it properly. That's super important. If you price too high and your home sits on the market, sometimes you end up chasing the market down, right? As you reduce, people start to wonder, why is it sitting on the market? They want to offer less already, and now you're challenging yourself. So the real key when you're listing your property is to make sure you price competitively to start, get a lot of people in to see it, get a lot of offers, and have something to choose from where you can now bid up your offers to where you think that the house needs to be, or basically where the market says that it should be. Number of pending sales in April, 282 in Tulare County. Again, we've been rebounding in 2024, which is fantastic to see. Buyer activity is up, and that's a really good sign. Buyers, again, have kind of accepted rates as they are where they are. The number of closed sales, however, pulled back in April. And you might be asking yourself why. We've seen a lot of cancellations lately, and I think a lot of that is when you get that quote back and you see where your payment's going to be with that 7-8% rate, it can be intimidating and it can be scary. And I think some buyers who might be on the fringe, they just get scared off by that and they say never mind. So cancellations are up compared to previous years, and there's just not a lot we can do about that. As people are adjusting to the new rates and the new cost of home ownership, there's going to be that slight disconnect for a while. Days on market in April were at 46, which seems pretty high, especially when you look at these pandemic years, 2021, 2022, when buyers had a lot of money. The government was just handing out stimulus checks and everyone had a down payment. People were buying up properties left and right at 2% interest. Now, obviously, you're dealing with 6, 7, 8% interest rates, and people don't have that kind of money laying around. Affordability is down. Inflation is up on everything in our lives. You know what I mean? So it's a lot tougher for people to just put down, huge amounts of money right now to purchase a home. That said, there are people doing it. So if you're pricing your home properly, you're going to sell quickly, as we've shown from previous statistics. And if not, it might be sitting for 3, 4, 5 months, and that's going to bring you to that 46-day on average number. In summary, average sale price rebounded in April to $401,664. And we often see home prices spike in April as we roll into spring, as people are getting their tax returns back, but it's not always a sign of continued growth, as we showed in previous charts. Sometimes it continues to increase throughout the summer. Sometimes April is the high month and we start to see decreases there, and it continues all the way through winter. So we shall see how the market turns out now and which path we are on. Price per square foot also spiked to $237 per square foot in April, surpassing the previous all-time high of $230 per square foot in June of 2023. Now, this is a statistic that's really supporting the strong market frame, basically, or the position that market is strong. It's going to continue to be strong into the summer, and that we're going to see more buyer activity, more seller activity as we continue. I'm on the fence, honestly. If you asked me to bet, I would have a hard time right now. So I would hedge my bets and I would just kind of wait and see how things go. Honestly, if I'm really going to bet, I think we're going to stay right about the same throughout summer. I think we're probably going to do this throughout the summer, and we'll probably in August, September be right about where we are now, and then it'll decline into the winter as we typically do. That's what I expect. Now, again, if the Fed drops rates or does something crazy, a lot can happen. You know what I mean? So we shall see. The number of new listings continued to improve, with 353 new Tulare County properties hitting the market in April, and this should continue to keep the market moving into the summer. So as long as new listings are coming on, as long as you've got people to buy them, the market's going to keep churning and keep moving. I just don't know what average sale price is going to do with the increasing cost of everything else. And I think there's a lot of uncertainty around the election too that creates turmoil during election years. So we'll see if that creates turmoil in a good way or a bad way. We just never really know. Pending sales increased while closing sales decreased in April. And a lot of people, again, ask why that is. I think it's because cancellations are up. These fringe buyers, you qualify, right? They give you a pre-approval letter that says you qualify for X number of dollars. But right up front, a lot of times you don't know what that actual payment's going to look like with the current interest rate. So once you get into escrow and they do all the escrow documents, the lender sends you the initial quote. Sometimes with that rate in there and your home insurance in there and everything else, that initial monthly payment can be pretty scary for some people. So I think a lot of fringe buyers are getting scared off by that, and we're seeing cancellations up from previous years. The number of homes for sale is slowly increasing, with 534 available in April, with 353 of those being new listings. I think homes are selling fairly quickly. It's a great time to be on the market as a seller. priced properly and your home will sell. You'll get multiple offers and you can negotiate those terms to be optimal for you. And as a buyer, it looks like inventory is increasing. So if you haven't found something that you like yet, hang in there as we roll into the next few months heading into summer. I think you're going to see a lot more inventory hit the market. People don't like to move during the school year. You know what I mean? They don't want to upend their kids in the middle of a school year. But as soon as summer hits, June, I think you're going to see a lot more listings on the market and you will be able to find something that you like. If you have any questions on any of this stuff, I would love to chat. If you have comments or disagreements, and I would love to hear it because, again, I'm on the fence. I'm not really convinced yet of where we're going to go. I'm just kind of riding the wave with the rest of you. So let's talk soon, and I will see you next month. Take care.
Are you having a hard time selling your property or just stressed for time to do it? Won't you contact David Haun at www.meetdavidhaun.com. With 100 plus happy clients, closed deals over 4 years in the business, MBA in digital marketing, and 5-star Google and great client experience. With the skills to compete with anyone in any presentation exposure, beautiful photography, aerials, 4K videos, interactive virtual tours, and even neighborhood spotlights, they'll be used to present property. With professional cleaning on every listing paid by David Haun. Our marketing is very focused on online experience. David provides a Matterport virtual walkthrough on each listing. With the number of buyers we are seeing from the metro areas of California, it's a huge benefit for them to be able to see the house in much detail. Everything is placed on the landing page. That's the hub of all the social media posts, paid ads, circle calls, emails, and text codes that's on the side, which enables David to help you capture leads without any contact. With paid social media ads, David Haun can target anyone who has been on Zillow, Realtor.com, Homes.com within the last 90 days. With everything I can provide, be assured that 10,000 plus active local buyers see your property within the first week. Don't believe me? Check out my testimonies at www.reviewdavidhaun.com.